Welcome to Black Book TV, where we spotlight Houston's best Black-owned businesses.
I just want to see black businesses do well. That's it.
Yeah.
Because you're basically telling them, like, I'm necessary.
You are.
One thing about God, He will give you the vision.
What's up, Black Bookers, and welcome to another episode of Black Book TV, where we highlight and interview some of the most amazing business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders, you name it, they're here. Today, I have the privilege of sitting down with the remarkable leader and visionary. Our guest today is Ronda Prince, the powerhouse behind Pretty Girls Rock, a women-only private club that's all about connections, empowerment, and community. As a humanitarian, coach, and the CFO of RapALot Records and Prince Boxing Enterprise, Ronda is no stranger to building impactful platforms. We're excited to dive into her journey, her mission, and the community that she's building. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you feeling today?
I am feeling good.
That's
it is
good.
Monday, so Mondays and the first Monday of November. But hey, I'm thankful.
Cool. So Pretty Girl Rocks is a very empowering platform. Like, what made you decide, or what inspired you to create this private group or organization of phenomenal women?
Well, let me first just warn you. This is a warning. I'm giving a disclaimer here. I'm a little biased
Okay.
for the ladies.
Okay.
Because I think that we are the hardest working, most impactful people on the planet. I feel like between trying to remember and stay in touch with who we are and support our husbands or significant others and raise our kids and work our jobs and, maintain all the different platforms, it's a lot of hats to wear. So I think that for that reason, we are a force to be reckoned with, right?
Absolutely.
But the organization, I grew up with a lot of males.
Mhm.
I have mostly male cousins. I have way more uncles than I have aunts. I have 2 brothers and no sisters. So being raised with a lot of males, I always would hear the chatter about females and how they couldn't work together and how they don't get along and how they fight with each other. And I personally just think that that's a myth. And I kind of like checking out and investigating and proving myths to be wrong, right?
Mhm.
And then so what I thought in my mind, I said, I just don't think that to be true. And not only is that not true, we need each other.
For sure.
With all the different hats that we wear and the different things that we're responsible for, we need each other, and nobody can support and understand a lady like another lady. So I started the organization of Pretty Girls Rock to say it's possible, to say we need each other, we can support each other, we can love on each other, we can encourage each other, we can serve our communities, and then we can just break away
Mhm.
from everything else and
Yeah.
escape you guys and the rest of the world and just go love on each other, So that was the whole concept and idea. And then I wanted to eliminate some of the blockage with that. And when I say blockage, I mean like I didn't want you to have to be of a certain economic status or a certain educational level,
I like that.
certain skin tone, certain body shape.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to eliminate that. All I wanted was for you to have a genuine heart, because I feel like all our journeys are different, and yet all our journeys are important. And so we can help, you can assist. There's always something that you can help somebody with because of your own journey. I like to say we all have a PhD in life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I wish my wife was here.
Yes.
That breakdown, oh my goodness.
Yes.
And the reason why I say that is because you said something that's extremely important to me.
Mhm.
You talked about how women work extremely hard
Mhm.
and a lot of times outwork men.
Mhm.
Now, I have a huge work ethic.
Yes.
Like, I tap into my Mamba mentality. You know what I mean? Like, if
Yes.
you tell me, hey, something can't be done, I'm gonna
Yeah.
figure out how to get it done.
Yes.
And I've worked extremely hard my entire life to outwork anybody that I'm ever in a room with.
Wow.
And there's one person that I seem to not be able to outwork, and that's my wife.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I definitely understand, where you're coming from when you say that, women wear all these different hats, being a mom,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, being a wife,
Mhm.
being a nurturer
Yeah.
and just like doing all of these different things. I think that myth should be broken, that women can't work together, because women are some of the most powerful people in the world, and it's super important that we treat our women with respect.
Yeah.
Just watching my wife go through her pregnancy,
Yeah.
with my son and my daughter,
Yes.
that just changed really with my son. He was my first child, and that
Mhm.
just changed my outlook on women. I've always respected women,
Yeah.
but it made me respect them even more just to see her carry my son for 9 months and then go through, birthing him, going through labor and things like that.
Yeah.
So to see all of that and then to hear you speak on, you know, the importance of women coming together when there is this myth that a lot of women can't work together.
Yes.
And I'm seeing it too. I just interviewed somebody on our podcast, and I was letting them know like 65% of the businesses on our platform are women-owned businesses,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But you don't see a lot of these businesses working together. But if they would
Mhm.
come together and work together, they could be doing so much more. So when you talk about that myth that women can't work together and support one another, um, how does Pretty Girls Rock address that head on? And what kind of community have you built within the club?
Yes. Well, first, let me applaud you,
Okay.
because by no means do I think that it is okay to be in any way disrespectful to the
Mhm.
man. We love and respect and honor our men. And as complicated and as many hats as we do wear and all the different roles that we do try to play, we need our men. Like, it's a whole different game when a lady knows that she have that strong man back there who has her back, So to hear you acknowledge and recognize and applaud your wife just for being who she is, I look,
Thank you.
bow to you.
Thank
And
you.
and that worth ethics, like,
Thank you.
yes, like keep that up, because yeah, look, I'm not even gonna go down that
No,
road of,
no,
of women
but
tearing men
no, no, no,
down,
no, no.
but I don't like
I'm
it.
glad we talking about it
Yeah.
because there's a conversation I have. I'm in a fraternity. I'm an
Mhm.
alpha.
Okay.
And I have some fraternity brothers who are single. I play
Mhm.
chess every day.
Okay.
So when I'm talking to my fraternity brothers that are single and they're
Mhm.
asking me questions about marriage, I tell them it's like a game of chess. I play chess every day, right? The most powerful piece on the board is the queen
Yes.
because it can do anything. It can move anywhere. But the most important piece is the king because you
Hmm.
cannot win the game unless the king is on the board, right? But I always tell them, can you win a game without a queen? Absolutely, but it's so much harder.
It's so
So
much.
why would you play the game without having a queen on the board?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I always tell them I found my queen. I'm gonna protect my queen,
Yes.
and I'm gonna keep her. Give her everything it is that she needs and that she wants.
Yes. I
Yeah.
sometimes draw the parallel that there is definitely a difference in playing checkers
Yes.
and playing chess.
Yes.
And that game to life right there, like, yeah, we need each
Each other.
other. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, can you
Absolutely.
do it? But it's just so much
It's like, why would
harder,
you? Yeah.
like it's just so much better, it's so much easier,
Yeah.
with that. So yes, yes, definitely. Now back to your question regarding what we're doing with Pretty Girls Rock for this, because collaboration is very important. And it also makes a huge difference on your level of success.
Yes.
For a long time, I've been an entrepreneur for well over 20 years. And for a long time, I thought I could do things by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say, I struggle. I still struggle, okay, because with some trust issues about,
Yes,
but are you
I
gonna do it
understand.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that thing. But it's so much better, again, even in that situation together. So, like in Pretty Girls Rock, what we do is, and it's not a requirement that you have your own business.
Mhm.
And I had to break that because in the beginning, there were a lot of people who were saying to me, "Oh, I really want to be a part of Pretty Girls Rock, but I don't have my own business." And I had to say, you don't have to have your own business
Yeah.
because that's another box
Right.
that,
Right. That eliminates
boundary that
people.
I don't
Yes.
want to
Yes.
have, right? But for those ladies who do, it is the collaboration there. It is the sharing of what this lady does and how or if it can be beneficial to you. It is the collaboration of what this lady does and what you do. Can you guys put that together and make that better? And I tell you, I mean, so many examples that
Mhm.
I can think of. We have a
Yeah.
lot of ladies in our organization who are educators.
Mhm.
And sometimes, like Tashonda Joyner, she likes to have her girls' conferences. And she asks us in Pretty Girls Rock, can you come out and support me, with
Gotcha.
that? And so we go out because, again, so many different roles. You come and play this position, you come in and play this position, and so that's what we kind of do. Or like Sharika, she has her Alzheimer's uh, fundraiser every year. And this year, she's partnering with someone who also has a cancer
Gotcha.
fundraiser and putting those two together and making the two one and
Gotcha.
making them even bigger and better.
So
right?
with Pretty Girls Rocks, you have these different business owners. Not
Yes.
everybody's business owners, but you have
Right.
these different business owners who have these events, and it's like, okay, this is how we support one another.
Yes.
Got
Yes.
it.
Or maybe even product or service that
Mhm.
one may need,
I love
but just
that.
the sharing of the information. Because sometimes you just don't know. It's
Mhm.
like, oh, I didn't know you had a podcast. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
But coming together and being together and learning and spending quality private time, especially with
Mhm.
each other, you learn so much more about each other and how you can support each other. And that support could even look like just the fact of maybe someone's lost a child,
Right.
maybe someone is struggling with a teenage child,
Mhm.
maybe someone's going through a divorce. Well, there's someone else who
Who may
has been down that road too. And your experience is not my experience, but let me share with you something about my journey that may help you with yours.
I love that.
Yeah.
So is Pretty Girls Rocks only here in Houston, or do you have women from all over?
It is actually only here in Houston for now. And
Okay.
I say there are a couple of ladies who just were like, we're not hearing it. We're getting in. We joining. We know. Look, and one is in California, and one is in Louisiana, and they'll
love
come
that.
down. When we
Mhm.
do some things sometime. But yeah, pretty much. And my main reason for not expanding yet is because I am very much a person of integrity,
I love that.
and I asked myself, if I opened it up to different states and different cities, how much time do I have right now to go and put some time into them there? Right. And even though I have some ladies who've said, that's okay, I'll run it from here. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
No,
Just
no,
let
no.
me head it up.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
I'm got a
yeah.
hands on, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't
I feel you.
know now, because if something's going on, I don't want to wait till it burned down to
Right.
put the fire out.
Right.
I want to be there. So for now, it's for, and I don't want to just have somebody be a part of organization and I have nothing to offer them directly, because I take it very personal. A lot of
Mhm.
things about it, a lot of things that we do, I do myself.
Got you.
Yeah.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Now I know that you have Pretty Girls Rock.
Mhm.
You're also a humanitarian.
Mhm.
You're the CFO of RapALot Records
Mhm.
and Prince Boxing.
Mhm.
How do you manage all of those different things? And you're doing it at such a high level, like
Yeah.
you're doing it in excellence,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how you able to do all of that?
On a wing and a prayer. Look, I teach breathing exercises, so I take breaths. I don't know. Look, ooh, I take breaths on a regular basis because I actually am a health awareness advocate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But time management is very important. I can say that I know that it's helpful to me that I don't have kids,
Yes.
right? Because kids are definitely a priority,
Yes.
and they tend to have their own schedules.
They do.
Yes,
They do.
so
If
and
you
so,
want 2 kids just for a weekend,
you
just
know,
let me know. I drop
if
them
I'm
off to
feeling
you.
that
I
and I'm
drop them off
free,
to you.
okay, cool.
But no, you're absolutely right.
Yes. So I think that because I don't have kids, I think that frees me up more. Because the other thing is that um, when you're looking at sacrifices, and whether that's sacrifices of time or money or whatever that is, when you're looking at sacrifices, there are a lot of other things and people that you have to take into consideration.
Absolutely.
And when you don't have kids,
You can it can
yeah,
move a
that
little
kind
bit
of
more
freed
freely.
that little space
Mhm.
up too, right? Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a beautiful journey. I consider myself a student to life, and class is always in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm always learning how to be better, how to do things better. And in every situation that I'm involved in, I think of not only myself, but the team.
Right.
And so, how can I be an asset to the team, right? So, when it came to RapALot, when it comes to Prince Boxing, Pretty Girls Rock, or Ask Miss Prince, whatever it is
Mm.
that I'm involved in, I like you. I know, like you said, I believe in excellence,
Yes.
and so, and I believe in being an asset.
Yes.
And if I can't be an asset, I'd step away from it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
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 So what was that transition like? I guess like I wouldn't say your first, but you were the CFO. You're still the CFO at RapALot. So
Mhm.
at what point were you like, okay, let me start Pretty Girls Rock? Like,
Yeah.
how did that like transition?
Yeah.
And did you ever feel like, okay, when I start this, it's gonna take me away from all of the other things that I'm doing?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I did work in corporate America for many years. I was officer on different levels, specialized parole officer, gang intervention officer, agent for the state. I mean, just
Really?
yes.
I didn't know all that.
I know.
Wow, we getting an
A lot
exclusive.
of people didn't know that. Yes, yes, yes. I've worked on state levels and federal levels, and yeah, so I've done a lot of different things. And my first experience with entrepreneurship was my limousine company.
Okay.
And at the time, I was working in City Hall under the former Mayor Lee
Big Brown.
Brown.
Mhm.
Yes, and I was a gang intervention specialist, right? So that was pretty cool because it did not take away from my job, right?
Mhm.
Because I was mostly running limousines at night and on the weekends,
Mm.
right? And I made the decision that until the money well exceeded
Right.
that consistent check I knew I was going to get, I was staying on the job, right? and when the business moved to that level and upscaled itself that I could, then I stepped away from that. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and just started and went full time with the limousine company. Now, the season changed because with limousines during prom time,
Right.
it's rolling,
It's
right?
rolling. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, things kind of slow down some. You're like,
Mhm.
wait a minute,
Roller coaster. Yeah.
right? So I went and got a part time job. I was like, no, I'm just gonna go. Let me see, what can I do? I'm gonna go to Hewlett Packard, who was making computers at the
Mhm.
time, and I'm gonna see if they'll hire me to put something on a computer. Give me an assembly line. They open 24/7. Let me pop in. And actually, after looking at my resume and interviewing me and stuff, they put me in HR to hire people.
Okay. Yeah.
So I did that a little bit, but then I figured out some things. I kind of tapped in like that quinceañera crowd on Saturday mornings and this kind of stuff. Just kind of diversified my business until I was able to step away from it permanently.
Got you.
Yeah, and then some things kind of transitioned with RapALot. And when I say that, I mean they had a contract with Virgin Records,
Mhm.
and then that contract was coming to an end and some things were happening and transitioning. And I was in the same building running my limousine company. And I started to get many more calls from my brother saying, Run. That's what my brother calls me. Run. Are you up at the office? You at the building? Can you go down on the other end? And, can you go down on and check on this? Can you go down there and do this and do that? And that's literally how it started.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Okay.
before
That
you
makes
know it,
sense.
it's like,
You fully in there.
right, right. This was a trick.
We're
Yes.
gonna ease you into it.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
all in. I'm all in. And that's how that happened. Now, when I did that, I felt like my role then, I was stepping in to be an assistant to my brother.
Mhm.
And then I stepped all the way in and I wanted to be an assistant to everybody, right?
Got you.
To the whole idea, the whole concept, the whole company, right? Everywhere that there may be some weakness, we want to make that strong,
Right.
right? And but with that, I also stayed on the background of things. Like I didn't ring the bell or make the announcement, hey, I'm over here on this side. Like I wouldn't tell anyone.
Right.
Like it really was other people telling
Telling
people.
people,
Yeah,
yeah,
like I
yeah.
wasn't telling anyone. And if you didn't notice, that was my
Yeah.
signature on the check. But I wasn't saying anything. And then it was brought to my attention, and this was after many years, it was brought to my attention after so many ladies coming up there working in different positions and doing different things that it was like, man, people need to know about you,
Right.
Miss Rhonda. Like people need to, and ladies
Yes.
need to know, girls need to know that it's a lady really doing all this.
Yes.
I was just like, let's let our guys shine. What else do you need from me? How can we help you shine? Like when you talk about music and artists, like, and art comes in all types of shapes and
It
forms,
does.
right? Like
Mhm.
this is
Mhm.
artwork,
Mhm.
you guys are brilliant and geniuses, so I'm just like, what you need? How can I help you? Because you were great. Yes. But then it was just like, okay, it's time to come out because other people need, females, girls need to know.
Yes.
So I kind of started with Motivate Me, which was a speaking company.
Okay.
And I would go around to schools and universities, and I spoke with at an NFL All Stars situation, and just started speaking like that, just speaking. And then I was just like, you know what? We as ladies need to work together. Well, like I know so many people. I would get calls all the time. I still do. I get calls all the time that, do you know somebody that, do you know that? I know you know everybody. Do you know somebody? So I was like, you know what? Stop asking me. Let's just bring everybody together,
Mhm.
and then y'all can tell each other what you do, and make some connections. So yeah, that's what, and I was just like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to come out and do that. And then with the passion that I have for health is really what led to Ask Miss Prince.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super amazing.
Yeah.
Super amazing. You
Thank
just
you.
never know who you talking to.
Uh-huh. Look. Uh-huh.
You just never know who you talking to.
Yes.
And I just want to say, I keep saying it, but I wish my wife was here.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal, and she don't get a lot of credit
Yeah.
because people always see me,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But Black Book Houston was founded by her,
Yes.
right? My background is civil engineering. She
Okay.
started Black Book August 2019.
Wow.
I was still working full time.
Yes.
I was supporting her. Hey, whatever it is that you need, here you go, here you go, here you go.
Right.
But I was sitting there watching her do all of this stuff by herself.
Yes.
And I seen her vision for it, her passion for it. And unlike you, I didn't save a bunch of money. It was like, okay, Black Book is making enough money to cover the bills. I said, Lord, we doing this. I quit my job in that like November, a few months later. I quit my job in November.
Wow.
And we've been hitting it hard ever since.
Yes.
And we did everything free for a whole year.
Yes.
Yes. God was just
That's
blessing
good.
us, taking care of us.
Yeah.
And then now, we are where we are now.
Yeah.
But it's just something about seeing women of influence who aren't gatekeepers,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the times I see a lot of people who can help others, but they just won't do it because they either one looking at a person that's coming up and rising as competition, or they just for whatever reason don't have it in their heart to do so.
Yeah.
So to have somebody of your caliber that's willing to mentor and motivate the next generations of leaders, that is like super super awesome. So I want to give you your flowers, like while you can still smell them. Like, yeah, no,
Thank you.
that's amazing.
Thank you.
What you're doing is amazing.
Thank you. Did you see me take that breath? I took that breath because I know what you're talking about. When you say, like, everybody doesn't want to share.
Yeah.
And you can come up in your mind with 1,000 reasons why that is, but you really don't know. But all I know is that if you just be the example
Mm.
and you show what's possible,
Mhm.
you know, like, yeah, goodness can spread too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
goodness can spread too. And I could have guessed that it was a woman behind this.
Yeah, of course. All of this
Yes,
amazement.
yes,
Come on
yes,
now.
yes,
Now,
yes.
now there's something that you call block, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Brilliant ladies overcoming challenges with class.
With class.
Yes.
Yes, it
Right?
is. Yes.
So can you kind of speak on that and like what that means?
For me, because with class, it's such a key. We gonna try not to go too far down.
No, I was just on an interview and I just
Yeah.
told somebody, I said, man, I have to run up on people. I have to start hemming some people up.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
She's like, Jeremy, you can't do that. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm at that point now.
Listen.
You know,
Okay.
I've allowed a lot of people to step on my toes, a lot of stuff to
Yes.
slide.
Yes.
But I was like, nah, at what point do I,
Yeah.
stand up for myself? So that's the point that I'm at.
Yeah.
So yeah, can you teach
Yeah.
me how to do it with class?
Yes.
So I'm not.
Yes. Most definitely. There are times that it's time for you to stand up and protect yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, I always believe that I come first.
Yeah.
You come first.
Yeah.
In all situations. You can't be the best person
Mm-hmm.
and you can't give the most that you have in you without taking care of you
yourself.
first.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
So if anyone does not understand or respect that and you share and you tell, look, you know, because no one can read anyone's mind. So maybe you ain't know that bother me. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But let me let you know,
Yeah.
you know, really nicely, and let's correct this, you know. Otherwise, I'm going to take care of me and I'm going to move away from, you know, that
Yeah.
situation.
No.
And it doesn't matter what that situation is. And it doesn't matter who that person is. So that, look, what is it? So whether you family, friend, neighbor, you can get it too.
Yeah, anybody
Can get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm
yes.
with you.
Yes. But when I think of the ladies in class, I may be a little biased.
Okay.
I'm going to say I may be a little biased. And yet I do consciously try to check my judgmental meter, which is the whole reason why the organization was started, because I don't like too many strong, you know, blockages and boxes of putting people in. However, nonetheless, I do believe the meter may need to be tightened up a little bit. Yeah. On class. When it comes to, you know, let me say, I have my nieces and nephews, right? My brothers have kids, even though I don't. My brothers have kids. So I have my nieces and nephews. I have so many little cousins that I love because I have so many cousins. And so I tell them all the time, no matter what you do and where you are, you're first representing yourself. You're second representing the family.
Yes.
Yes. You know, and so be unforgettable in a good way. Yes.
Like that.
And I think that sometimes, and it just seems to be happening a little too often nowadays, people kind of stepping outside of, you know, and maybe it's just because they're not feeling as good about themselves as they should.
I think it's social media.
Social media.
Because social media is this highlight reel of everybody in their best light, right? So now we start getting consumed with seeing people as perfect. You know what I mean? So now it's like if I have imperfections, now I might feel some type of way about myself, and then I start making up stuff in my head about a person who I probably should be talking to, that I probably should be, you know, getting some information or some gems or some motivation from. But it's like now I'm jealous of that person because I'm looking at, you know, what they have and thinking that their life is this perfect life that they, you know, maybe presenting on social media. And it's not because they're trying to be fake or anything on social media. It's just like, hey, this is my highlight reel. I'm gonna show you like all the stuff that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see stuff like that, I think it's just more so like people projecting,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like their own thoughts or
Mm-hmm.
you know feelings because of their own insecurities that
Mm-hmm.
they may feel.
Mm-hmm.
So then there becomes like a jealousy or a hate or a,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that kind of thing, or or they start feeling like they're getting a lot of attention on social media. So they feel like they up here. So they like, man, I'm behind this desk and I could type whatever, or I can behind this phone, I could type whatever and say whatever to a person who they like. You really don't know that person like that. Like,
Right.
you probably need to
Bring that back.
bring that
Yeah,
back down.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. I can completely respect that viewpoint, your viewpoint. I think that social media has played a major role. I think that hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we are in a place now where nothing is enough.
Yeah.
So I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not big enough or small enough or, whatever. It's because of the comparison
Right.
and the compete and what's always in your face, right? And if you don't go into that space with a solid, strong understanding of who you are,
Yes.
then you're going to get blown away, right?
Yes.
Because you're chasing something and someone that you will never be.
Yeah.
Because you can't be me and I can't be you. It is a very hard time. I'm very thankful. I'm 57.
Okay.
Yes. And so I am thankful.
Hold on now. I'm gonna have to check your IG.
I know. But I am
57.
so thankful
Yeah.
to not have had to grow up
Mm-hmm.
with this type of pressure.
Yeah.
So peer pressure is something that's always been there, right? Like that's not new.
Right.
But with social media, it's like 10,000 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at least I was just talking about the people who in my class at school or something. You know what I mean? Like the girl at my school or something. Now they're trying to compete with people all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, and people not even just in your own city, much less your school. And it still just goes back to I don't think that I am enough.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason for the name that I chose for my
Pretty
company,
Girls
with
Rock.
Pretty Girls Rock. Because what I know is every little girl
Mm-hmm.
likes to be called pretty.
Yeah.
And if you can embed that into her from the beginning,
Yeah.
early, you can help create a different kind of person. Right.
I love that.
Yes, because if it's instilled in you, then I don't care what everybody else look like.
Yep.
I don't care what
Yep.
everybody
And
else
you
say
don't
I
need
look
validation
like.
from anybody
I
else.
think I'm pretty,
Yes.
right? And so even though I deal with the organization is for ladies, you never lose that pretty girl.
Mm.
And even if you never were told,
You
or
be
it's been a
told.
long time, or life is tough,
Yeah.
or you've forgotten. Because sometimes going through life, you
kinda
just
forget
kind of
who you are.
forget. You will
Yeah,
forget. I
absolutely.
remember looking in the mirror myself one day, like going, okay, what's going on? What's going? You done checked out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it is. Social media definitely puts a lot of pressure in there, and that's why I feel like we have a responsibility
Mm-hmm.
to and if but one, if but one, as each one teach one
Yes.
and motivate another one, we can all win. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we can't take on the world, but it just but one.
Yeah.
And then you spread that,
I like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So recently, you were recognized as one of the top 30 most influential women in Houston.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel, and what did that mean in terms of Pretty Girls Rock and just all the other amazing things that you've
Yeah.
been doing?
It was completely unexpected.
Okay.
Just because I don't do what I do for recognition and acknowledgement. I do what I do because that's what the inner voice in me says to do.
I like that.
Right. And I feel like that's that God in you.
Absolutely.
We talk about that intuition and
Mhm.
all that, but listening to that inner voice. And so I'm never thinking about someone applauding me,
Mhm.
for it. It's just I know what my end goal is because you start your goal with an end in mind.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
And so with me knowing what my end goal is, that's why I'm always focused. So for someone to stop and say, hey, you're
Oh my
one of the
goodness.
top 30 most influential women in Houston. I'm going, me? Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
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 No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I like what you said. You talk about beginning with the end in mind.
Yes.
That was like one of the quotes that one of my professors in college actually taught me, right?
Wow.
Begin with the end in mind.
Yes.
So as you begin with the end in mind, there's also challenges that we face,
Mhm.
right? So what is some advice that you would give to an entrepreneur or a young lady or a young woman who hey, I wrote down my goals. I wrote it out on paper. I'm looking at it. I've been working hard, but now I'm just facing like all of these challenges, whether it's personal or professional. And I know we all face challenges. So like,
Yeah.
what are like maybe kind of share like what are some of the challenges that you've been through and how did you overcome those?
Yeah. One, a vision is very, very important. You have to be able to see it. Because if you can't see it in your mind, then you absolutely cannot accomplish it.
Right.
So that's the whole thought process behind starting and having an end goal, right? And yes, I mean, I can tell you know the keys here, right? Because you have to write it down, So you write down your goals and your steps, and you have your plan, and this is what I'm gonna do, and then this is where I'm gonna end up, and then I'm gonna be great, right? And then life happens,
Yeah.
and life looks different kind of ways. I graduated from college in May of '90
Okay.
with a double degree from Lamar University. And I was very much into health then, fitness rather, more so fitness than health,
Okay.
right? And all of a sudden one day I got a really, really bad headache. And it was like, and I never went to the doctor or took pills or, anything like that. Yeah. And it was just so bad. I had to go to the doctor, and I went to the doctor, and then he was like, nurse, she doesn't take her temperature. And my temperature was 106.7. And at the time, I'm so ignorant. I don't know exactly what that means. I just know that's high. My head is hurting really bad. You're a doctor. Can you just give me something so I can go home because I got some stuff to do, And the doctor, who was actually an OB-GYN, because that's the only doctor in the world I knew, because they require you to know them once a year, right? And so he says, "Oh no, you're not going home." He's like, "Let me make a phone call," and he's like, "Okay, nurse, get a wheelchair." And I was like,
A wheelchair.
"A wheelchair, right? Look, do you see me? Like, do I look like I need a wheelchair, dude? I'm in good shape, He was like, "Do not." I went to pick up my purse, and he's like, "Don't bend down." I was like, "Oh, this is getting really kind of scary here now, And he said, "There's a neurologist in our building. You have to see him." I don't even know exactly why do I need to see the neurologist? I just got a bad headache. I know y'all got some pills, And so he said, no matter what, he said, don't leave, don't leave. And I went down there, and they fit me in, and they pulled me in a room, and they laid me on the table, and they did what they call a spinal tap. And I at this point, my mom actually was out of town on a business trip because she was an HPD officer.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I called my aunt, who's a nurse, and she's like, "Where are you?"
Tap?
Right.
Yeah.
Where are you? I'm on my way. Right. So then she gets there, and she's rubbing my hand. She's like, "You gonna be okay?"
Like, why she missing?
Right. What's going on? Like, what is going on? She was like, "Don't move." And then I was like, and she's like, "I know it's gonna hurt some." And I was just like, my head and shoulders hurt me so bad. So I don't even really know what you're talking about. But they did this spinal tap on me, and they admitted me into the hospital immediately.
Oh wow.
And then they put me in a room. They said I had to be by myself, like I had to be isolated and da-da-da. Long story short, I end up having viral meningitis, right? And I later researching everything. Okay, well, meningitis was connected with that bad headache.
Gotcha.
You know, and that fever.
Yeah.
Right.
Fever.
Yeah, the
That
fever.
106.
That 106 points. Yeah. So
You
the
just
doctor
wanted
was
to take some
ah,
aspirin
that's
or
all.
ibuprofen
Y'all give
or
me
something.
some.
Give me
You know,
Tylenol.
yeah,
Send me
y'all
on my
know what
way.
to do
They
with it.
like,
Yeah,
nah,
it's
nah,
cool.
nah.
Yeah,
Sit
yeah.
down.
I'm fine. I'm sure this is cool, you know. Yeah, and the doctor kept asking me, "Are you sure you haven't blacked out? Are you sure?" I was like, "Bruh, look." And he just kept, "Are you?" Because with a temperature like that, this should be happening, and that should be happening, and this should be happening, and I'm like going, "Look, okay, well, let's just say, okay, well, I don't know. I can tell you everything that has happened, and I've done, but if you just insist, it's like this is not shouldn't be possible, and So after that, and they treated me, and the pain went away like that, but they diagnosed me with MS, with multiple
Multiple
sclerosis.
sclerosis.
Yeah, and I'm going, what? Like. I'm bodybuilding, I'm lifting weights, I'm doing the most,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking I'm in
Like
pretty good
this.
shape. Yeah. And I started kind of running the clock back in my mind a little bit, and I'm like, is that why I threw up when I was on that swing that time? Like, did that have something to do with that?
You start
Because
replaying a
I'm
lot
trying
of
to figure
moments.
out, like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Then they start, which they do in the medical industry, and yeah. Well, anybody in your family, like, no. Like, today, my grandmother, my father's mother, is 104 years old.
Oh wow.
My great grandmother, her mother, she died right before 115. Like,
Yeah.
my great grandmother on the other side was 101.
I think I just met one of your uncles.
Oh boy. Look, oh
I
boy.
can't think
I
of
have
his
so many
name.
uncles.
He's like in his 80s. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, he just walk around and move
Yeah.
so
Oh,
good.
Uncle Don.
Done.
Yep.
Yeah, he was out there
In
with
Prairie View.
yeah,
Yep, because he has the property out there in Prairie View.
yeah. It
Yes.
was Uncle Dunn.
Yes,
I was
Uncle
just like,
Don.
man,
Love
he just
him.
moving around so
Yes,
good.
man.
Yes.
I mean, and so that's like my family on both sides of my
Mhm.
family, So I'm like, no, don't know what you're talking about. And
Yeah.
again, go to try to look something up and everything, and it says mostly Caucasian ladies in the North. I was like, well, this makes no sense, like, that's not me,
Yeah.
So life can happen.
Yeah.
Because I had a plan,
Yeah.
And then it was like, I literally, this was crazy because I had been dating a guy from college, and he was actually an electrical engineer.
Okay.
And he graduated 2 years before me and wanted me to move with him to Chicago, marry him and move to Chicago. And I called him from in the hospital room when they told me this and said, I think we're going to break up. Right. He was like, what? Yeah, I was like, no. Yeah, we breaking up right here because I got some stuff going on, and yeah, he was like,
it wasn't even anything he did.
We
It
ain't
was
not
just
about to
like-
have no conversation. This is a wrap because these people are telling me this. I don't really know what this is really gonna look like or be like, and I don't want anybody else to have to struggle or
Wow.
go through this with me.
Wow.
I'm gonna take care of this. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want anybody. I don't want to
What was
interrupt.
his response?
He was like, no, like we had been
what?
together like 6 years, like, yeah. And he had like, and he was like, no, you're going to be okay. And I was like, I don't know. No, well, no, I'm just, no, I need to figure this out, and he was living in Chicago.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So yeah. So he couldn't come to the room and yeah. Yeah. But I was just like, no, I got to figure this out myself. But again, when we talking about those goals and that vision and that life will happen,
For sure.
and you don't know what it's going to look like,
Yes.
but no matter what, you have to stay true to who you are and stay on course,
Absolutely.
and I just could not let that stop me.
Yeah.
I have been blind. Yeah. I did the BPMS bike ride.
Blind.
Right?
You was out there. I'm just playing.
Look. No, crazy. But what's really crazy is that a really good friend of mine, I call him my brother. His name is Marcus Jones, and his brother had gone before, right?
Mhm.
And so he had told Marcus, and then Marcus was like, "We should go," And I was like, I had not ridden a bike since I don't even know
You just
when.
jumped out there.
Come on, bought a bike. Look, I need the best one. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the
No.
ski shop, whatever. Y'all fix all this. I'm gonna just go.
So at Prairie View, we do a bike ride for cancer.
Okay.
Right? It's
Yes.
a fundraiser. It's called the Tour de Pink.
Yes.
And you could do about, I think it's like 23 or 24 miles.
Yeah.
And I was volunteering just to, be one of the organizers for it, make sure that the bike riders had their water and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, because that's what we were accustomed to doing every year. We didn't have anybody from Prairie View who would actually ride in it.
Yeah.
So it was a group of us. We said, you know what, this year we're going to ride
We
in it.
going.
I'm a college student. I don't have that much money. I went and got a bike from Walmart for
Yeah.
$100.
Yeah.
Mountain
Yeah.
bike. Worst
Yeah.
thing you could do. I
Mountain.
just jumped out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I did that 23 miles, but I was hurting.
Come on.
It was an old man. I never forget. I'm going up an incline because that mountain bike don't have no gears.
Okay.
So I'm
You're right.
pushing it hard.
Oh, I'm so glad that happened to you.
I had to get off the mountain bike
Yeah,
and
and
walk it
push it.
up. And the old
Yes.
man just came by. He just switched the gears on his bike because he got one
Yeah.
of them
Yeah.
nicer bikes, and
Yeah.
he just was going,
Right.
going.
Right.
But
Right.
no, I just
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
throw
So
that
you
in
know
there. So
that
I
was
know how them
yeah.
bike rides get.
So
yeah.
The BPMS bike ride is from Houston to Austin.
See? No.
And it's a 2-day trip. And after the first day, you spend the night on the campgrounds in LaGrange. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you get up and you go. So he said we were gonna do this. I'm an overachiever, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have my own team, and we're gonna be Ronda's Warriors, right? So then I tell what our little gear gonna be. We're gonna be dressed alike. This is what we gonna do. And then they said, well, they have some I think they call them swag wagons or something that come along the way. So if anything happens or you break down and you can't make it, they'll pick you up. I was like, we don't need them. We're taking our RapALot van, baby. What? Yeah, come on. Somebody get in the RapALot van. If somebody have a problem, help them out. We good. So then the people thought we were performing. In LaGrange. They were like, oh, we must be having a show.
They say RapALot coming out here. We got a concert.
Right. Like, no, we're not quite a concert. Right. It was literally me, my mom, my best friend, one of my uncles, my sister-in-law, and Marcus and his brother.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, we ain't rapping. Like my mom doesn't have a hook or anything. Yeah. So, but I tell you, I did spend a lot of money to get a bike and everything, but I still hadn't ridden, in a long time. But I even had on my little bike where it tell you how many miles you've gone, right? And on that bike ride, they tell you how many miles it is in between each brake spot. I'm checking this thing out. And then, so I do have the ability to change my gears.
Right.
I ain't know how. So I switched gears one time and my chain popped off. So then there's that fear factor, right? So I never switched again. I was like, no, just put it on regular, just put it on one. And because they had to put my chain back on, right? I was like, just put it on. But I know from Houston to Austin is very healing. So yeah, going up there is like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. I mean, I was talking to myself, and it was so funny because at one point, my mom, like they get in the van and ride to the next spot after so many miles, right? And my mom was like, help her, pick her up, run. So the guy pulls up beside me, and he's like, run, boss lady, get in. I was like, no, I'm riding my bike. I'm doing this. I said I was, So it was amazing. And probably about, I don't know how many days or if it was a week, but a time period right before it was time to go. I woke up one morning and was like, double vision flip. And I was like, oh man. And the doctor, I went to the doctor and they gave me steroids because that's simply optic neuritis.
Gotcha.
Which just means the optic nerve is inflamed. So anytime you hear the word itis, know that means inflammation.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was optic neuritis. So they gave me steroids because steroids will help with inflammation. And he told me, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do this bike ride. And I was like, I've
I'm-
taken a lot of people money. Because you do know that they have you ask people for money, right? For the calls.
Mhm.
So I
So
was
it was
like,
like,
no,
I
I
have to
took
do
their
this.
money
Yeah.
and I told them I'm riding.
Yeah.
So I rode anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when we got to LaGrange, they were like saying, oh, you don't have to go all the way to Austin. Okay, you did it. Okay, yay.
Yeah.
You went
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, nope, this is not Austin. I got
I
up
like that.
early next morning and just hit the road again. But yeah, I would never do it
I
again.
like that. I like that. Man, that's a strong story about perseverance.
Yeah. And that's how you have to do in life.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen, but you have to just not quit
Keep going.
and keep going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pressure is a privilege.
Yes.
I tell people that all the time. Pressure is a privilege.
Yes.
To be able to do the things that, we're both able to do at a high level,
Mm-hmm.
it comes with a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also a privilege to have that pressure because it's a lot of people who would want to be in our position.
Yes.
So we have to be grateful for the pressure, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that's what's going to help shape diamonds, right?
Right.
So anything, that's worth doing, it's going to be tough, right?
Man. And your best lessons are in the valley.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, it's a blessing in the valley.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
yes.
a
That's
blessing.
that real,
Blessing
that
in the
real
valley.
character.
Yeah.
That real man get built down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, you can't have a testimony without being tested.
Have to.
You have to be tested. And I
Yeah.
always share my favorite Bible verse anytime we talk about pressure, challenges, and things of that nature.
Mhm.
It comes from James chapter 1, verses 2-4. It says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kind, because the testing of your faith develops perseverance, and perseverance must finish its work so that you may be whole and complete, not lacking anything.
Yes.
And I always keep that with me because, anytime I face like different challenges, I just be like, okay,
Yeah.
God, like, and then I just, where was I at when I heard this? I don't know. Was I at church? I don't know. I can't remember where I was,
Mm-hmm.
but it was, somebody was saying, be careful what you pray for, right? Because when you pray for things, it's not going to come how you think it's going to come when you're praying for it, right? It's like when you ask God for wisdom, he just don't, oh, here goes some wisdom. It's like, no, I'm going to put you through something so that you can learn how to be wise, right? When you ask him for strength, it's like, hey, I'm going to put all this weight on you to help build you up, to give you that strength.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I just wanted to share that.
I really like the end of the verse, too. For you to become, so you can be that person, like you have to go through this to build this person. Yes.
And then if I keep going, he says, whatever it is that you need.
Yeah.
Now, this is the Jeremy Craft version. This
Right.
ain't verbatim.
Right.
But he basically say, whatever you need, ask for it.
Yes.
So it's like, hey, yeah, I'm going to put you through all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But whatever it is that you need, ask for it, and I'm going to give it to you. But the only way that I'm going to give it to you
have to
is if you believe when you asking for it.
Yes.
And that go back to what you were saying, like with that vision, you got to see it clearly.
Yes.
And know that, hey, it's going to be some obstacles. It's going to be some things because life happens, right? But if you see that vision, and you keep going, you could get there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of the major challenges that people have is not really believing. And yeah, and if you don't really, truly, honestly, clearly, deeply believe it, then the universe doesn't either.
Absolutely.
So you have to completely, and in that faith.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that if I do believe this and I do my part, you got to have that faith because those challenges are going to come.
And I call it crazy faith.
Yes.
I call it crazy faith.
Yes.
Because I look crazy as hell quitting my job, engineering. My dad was like, is everything okay?
Right.
And then my mom, she's a teacher. So she's been on me.
Oh, yes.
And I'll never forget, I made my first.
Look, you still in trouble.
I made my first C in college, right? In math.
Yes.
The first C ever in math.
Yeah.
But a lot of people failed the class. The highest grade
Yeah.
in that class, I think somebody got a B.
Yeah.
Right?
Mr.
A lot of
Engineer.
people, yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people failed the class. I think it was
Yeah.
differential equations.
Yeah.
And I had a teacher that was Russian, and I couldn't understand his accent until
Yes.
like the second part of the semester.
Yeah.
And I got a C, and I was so happy about my C. And my
Yeah.
mama seen that C, she said,
Right.
I thought you was smart.
Right. See, you average.
I said, Mama, I am smart. She
Yeah.
said, what is this C?
Right.
Right? So when I quit my job, she
Mhm.
was really like,
Yeah.
you ain't good enough to be an engineer.
Right. What's going
What's
on?
going on? Like,
Do we
what
need
you
to
wanna
call a
talk?
therapist?
Yeah.
We
said,
need to
"Mama."
talk.
I say, listen, something about to happen. It's about
Yeah.
to take place. I tell my
Yeah.
dad that too.
Yeah.
My dad started saying, hey man, you need a job. Like what? Like
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Am I asking you for anything?
Yeah.
He's like, no, you're not. I was like, okay, then I'm
Yeah.
good.
I'm
You know what I
good.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
tough for a parent.
It is.
And
It is.
and a parent in education and
Yeah.
because again, when we talk about that vision, see they had a vision for their child.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And then you got grown.
But you know what amazed me? Black Book, we've been around for 5 years. We
Awesome.
in year 5 now.
Yeah.
We do a gala every year to
Mhm.
highlight, recognize, different businesses who are out here killing it, doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And last year, which was our second gala,
Mm-hmm.
my parents came to,
Wow.
and my dad pulled me to the side, and he says, I see the vision. He shook my hand,
Yes.
gave me a hug. He was like, I see it.
I see it.
He's like, I see it. And
Yes.
that meant so much to me.
Yeah.
For him to finally see it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it took you 3 years to see it.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
you know?
yeah. Yeah.
It took you 4
Yeah.
years to see this.
Yeah.
Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. But
Yeah.
no.
No, but that consistent. Well, we can't. You don't even try to, act like that because the kids y'all be starting stuff
Yeah.
and stopping stuff and like. But what? Okay, so what you doing now? So what's going on?
Yeah.
It's a lot of that. Look, it's a lot of that with the younger people. I'm on dad's side. I'm on mom and dad's side. But yes, but seeing that consistency and that tenacity and that will and that drive and that true commitment, yeah. Yeah, it applauds.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this has been a very inspiring episode. I've been looking forward to finally sitting down with you. I wish my wife was here.
Yes.
We're
would
gonna
definitely
still
have
we're
to
gonna
meet
still
her.
make that. No,
Yes.
we're gonna still make that happen. We're gonna still make
Yes.
that happen
Yes.
for sure. But where can the people find you to support you and the different things that you have going on? How can they reach out or get in contact?
So I'm pretty active on social media.
Okay.
And then I have Pretty Girls Rock has its own website, and it's prettygirlsrock.us. A lot of people who, as far as people interested in joining the organization, our enrollment is open from January to March. So
Okay.
that's like January 1st to March 31st. And the application for enrollment then shows up on the website. We share that information. And I'm sitting up here trying to think 281-417-0047, 281-417-0047. I just got a
Okay.
new phone number.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is a direct line to me also. But yeah, I'm pretty active on social media too. More so on Facebook, but I learned, look, somebody younger, taught me how to connect my
Your Facebook
Facebook
to
and
your
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah. So now I'm like feeling really good about myself because I can post
You
on
can post.
Facebook and then it shows up over there and I'm like, yeah, I'm rocking both of these,
Yeah.
Yeah. But TikTok and I was like, okay, now y'all doing too much. I can't do all this, Yeah. So and I'm an open person,
I like that.
People hit me in private message and stuff, and I respond to them,
Yeah.
because and any type of way that I can help someone, then I do. If I can, then I do, and if I can't, I say that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't ignore people.
Yeah.
I did find with social media, like a couple of times somebody said on my post, like check your inbox, and I was like, I don't see them on there, but it was like maybe
It was
like
in
they
your
weren't.
friend request or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, and so I couldn't see it, so I had to go to their page and find it, hit
Gotcha.
message and things
Yeah,
like that because I don't ignore people.
Yeah.
And I just I feel like it's part of my responsibility. I cannot continue to receive and be blessed without
Absolutely.
giving. And in giving, I try to do, whether that's just encouragement, that's the only reason I'm on social media.
Yeah.
To applaud and encourage and recognize and acknowledge other people, and to try to educate and inspire and motivate. So yeah, that's a platform that's free for
Gotcha.
us here
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to
Well.
pay for stuff.
Well, we appreciate you. I enjoy having you on,
Yes.
and I look forward to working with you in the future, supporting you and your businesses, and just any way that Black Book can support, you let us know. We're right here for you.
Yeah.
And for all of y'all out there, make sure that y'all like, subscribe, follow, leave comments, share all of this great information today. Make sure that y'all was taking notes, and hopefully you took away some important gems from Miss Ronda.
Yes.
And again, just thank you
Yeah.
so much.
The pleasure and honor has been mine.
Thank you.
Yes. And
Thank you.
congratulations to you guys again, and continue to
Thank
do
you.
what you do. The
Thank
world
you.
needs you.
Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
Well, it's been real. Until next time on Black Book TV. Peace.